Namaskar, welcome to JSV channel. JSV, we have named this channel as JSV because joy sees vision, and that is why we have started this channel known as JSV channel. We are into YouTube, we have created our own channel, as well as we are on Instagram and on Facebook. The purpose of creating this channel is on various subjects. One, with regards to cybercrime. Two, with regards to housing society matters. Three, with regards to pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals includes health and laughter as one section, the ethical formulations as another section, and the generic, which is growing leaps and bounds, is the third section. And also, we are going to create a webinar on selling skills training program. Just because of the simple reason that it develops an individual and improves his selling skills, as said by Spencer and Johnson in the 1 minute salesperson. Now, with regards to why cybercrime? Cybercrime is on a run as of today. Cybercrime has been causing a lot of problems to various individuals, victims, and creating a lot of victims. With cybercrime, there are different types of cybercrime which is happening. One, which is the share trading, where the lot of finances of the people are in a soup. In fact, it is valued at 168 crores, over 168 crores, which is quite a huge amount. And the second one is of the electricity department, where they say that your electricity meter would get cut. The third thing which they do is with the courier business. And when they do it with the courier business, it is something which stuns the people, where they say that you've been caught with narcotics and you pay so much of money and so on and so forth, which ultimately causes people in jeopardy. And unfortunately, the people who fall in this as a victim are those who have nothing but it is only because of greed and jealousy. The greed comes as a primary factor because people don't understand that money doesn't come easily and there is no substitute to hard work. So why would anybody give anybody any money without any reason? So that has got to get first embedded. So in this section of cybercrime, we would help you with various levels of cybercrimes which are being created, and what is the problem with each and every cybercrime, and how you escape the cybercrime, and how you're made aware of the cybercrime. Last but not the least, there is a procedure also, though you have lost a particular amount, say if you have lost an amount of about a crore of rupees, you will not get back the entire crore of rupees, even if you're lucky. However, you can get a part of the amount to the tune of at least 60 to 70 lakhs if you make the attempt. And for which there is a procedure wherein you get out how you should get out the money. And that would be explained by way of, because the money comes from the court only. The court passes the order and the concerned bank has to transfer the money into your account. So there is a procedure to follow the court's order. So first what we would suggest is, get on to the cybercrime number, which is 1930, and register your complaint. Go to the nearest cybercrime police station and say that this is what has happened with you. Then they would let you know that how many banks have the money being transferred. And then you'll have to file the case in the court of return of property, for which you'll have to do an e-filing first. And after the e-filing, then you'll have to submit the physical copies, where it is now under section 503 of the BNH. Previously it was 451 of the CRPC, and now it is 503 of the BNH after July 1st, 2024. And then there is a hearing and the court passes the order. If there is money in the bank, you get the amount back. Therefore, this process would be explained to you at a long length in our future discussions. Now coming to the second part of our story, which is housing societies. This is another too an integral part of the knowledge which we have got to get. We all live in societies, but we are not aware of our rights, our duties, and our privileges of what we have got to do and what we have got to do to make the society as a whole. Especially when you have the managing committee, which is normally does their high-handed behavior, and how do you manage if unless or until you know the law of the land, it is very difficult for you and you will be suffered as a victim in a long process. So the subjects which we will cover are what are the objects of the society, the funds which we collect in terms of maintenance, in terms of entry fees and the creation of other funds, and how to utilize the society's funds and where all to invest in the society's funds. These would be the first few things which we would say. Then we would talk about them, as I mentioned, we would talk about the members, their rights, their responsibilities and their liabilities. Then under membership, it is classes of membership, eligibility of membership, the conditions for membership, and the rights and duties of members. And the most important thing is getting the copy of the bylaw and the audit report. And about occupation of flats, restriction on rights of associate and nominal members, resignation of membership, and resignation by a member. Also about resignation of an associate member. The nominations of members. Nomination is one of the most important thing when you become the tenant of the society. The moment you have the nomination, automatically the flat has to be transferred onto your name by the society. And in case you don't have a nomination, then it is a long and a tedious process to get in the succession certificate and many more other documents before you get the property into your hand. And let us also think about, and there is also called as exchange of flats, subletting of flats, and the responsibilities and the liabilities of the members, maintenance of flat by members, the expulsion of a member, the cessation of membership, restrictions on holding more than one flat, liabilities of a member, past or present. Also, the levy of charges of the society, incorporation and duties and powers of the society, the general meetings, which can be general body or a special general body meeting. Then there is the other important thing is the management of the affairs of the society, where general body is the supreme authority. Then maintenance of books of account and registers, the apportion of profits, and to write off irrecoverable dues, audit of accounts of the society, conveyance of the property and repairs to the maintenance of the property. Also understand that after 30 years, you've got to develop a redevelopment program will definitely crop in. So we will explain to you in details as to what are the documents that is required for the sake of redevelopment process, which initiates other matters like the cooperative year, the notice board of the society, the amendments of the bylaws of the society, the restriction on playing games in the society's compound, restrictions on lettings or giving a leave and license base, permission to use the terrace. These are most important. Then the redressal of member complaints. How do you do it and what is the time frame for it? And what are the ways, whether it is a registrar or cooperative court or civil court or municipal corporation, local authority, police, general body meeting and housing corporation, regarding development of society's buildings. That's what I spoke to you all about. the interpretation. So these are basically the subjects which cover, under which there is also with regards to parking as to the way you've got to do allot the parking for all the members. Parking is again meant for a flat and not for a member. So these are a few things which we would be educating on a day-to-day basis. That is the reason why we have called this channel a JSV knowledge channel. Again, joy seeks victory, vision or victory, whatever you call it. So our intention of getting this subject into this place has been this reason. So in each of these two subjects, there will be elaborate continuous videos which will be posted by eminent people. Like for the housing matters, we have on our advisory board Mr. Ramesh Prabhu and Mr. Uday Prabhu, who tend to advise us as to what all things we require for the sake of development. Now coming back to the pharma industry. Pharma, as we said, are in three different sectors. One, which is the ethical sector, one which is the healthcare sector, healthcare and laughter. Now we believe that when you have issues of health problems, when you laugh and you cherish good memories, normally the person remains fit and agile. The reason for diabetes or cardiovascular diseases or any other your hypertension, the main reason is the stress of what you take and the trauma of the brain of what you take. So unless or until you're quite happy on your own self, then you'll have to rely on medicines, and all throughout the life, crib on it stating that this is what is going to happen. Here, how to lead a healthy life would be spoken by two experts. One would be Dr. N.H. Tandon and the other would be Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. N.H. Tandon is a cardiologist, diabetologist and a very reputed person in the doctor circle. Whereas Dr. Ranganathan is a doctor from London and he basically practices on pain medicine. He is 75 years old, young, and he still runs around the place to help patients and see that their recovery is much faster. Now the second section is going to be about, the subsection is going to be about pharmaceuticals, the ethical drugs. Here, there are many companies which have also transferred some of their products to the generic level. But companies are now trying to develop newer molecules, higher molecules, which is there in the ethical sector. The ethical sector develops the molecules, which is later on passed on after attaining a good percentage is passed on to the generic industry. And that is the reason why ethical is important, because they are the pioneers and they are the masters who create on this. And to talk about the ethical industry, we have got Mr. Rajesh Shetty, who has been the head of Roche, supply chain head of Roche in India today, and a veteran in the ethical pharma sector. So ethical is also important, and whether you do ethical or whether you do generic or any other matter for that matter, one thing which is important in life is happiness. And whenever you consume that medicine, you consume it with stating that I am fine. That medicine acts much more better than the medicine which you've got to say that I've just got to consume it just to live. So whatever you do it with passion, because it is always driven by passion and it is built by communities, which is one of the punchline of JSV channel. The third sector, the subsector, the third one is about the generic industry. Now, generic industry has got various levels of marketing. The companies like Cipla, companies like JB, companies like Alkem, companies like Cadila have ventured into the generic market. It is because their products have been established, and by giving it at a lower cost, because the expenditure in the generic industry is much less. as compared to the ethical industry. In the ethical industry, a city like Bombay will have nothing less, a city like Mumbai will have nothing less than about 40 to 50 medical reps. And then you will have an area district manager, and then you will have an area manager, and then you will have a regional manager. But whereas in the generic industry, it is one person or two persons who cover or three persons if they cover the entire state. If the state is too huge, like UP, it would be 5. In a state like Maharashtra, it would be 3 to 4. And there would be one zonal manager who would cover the entire zone. So the cost incurred becomes less in the generic industry, and which is the reason why the generic industry gets transformed into supplying medicines at lower costs. So this has been the entire crux of the generic industry. Now with regards to the generic industry, it is termed as the branded generics, which is very effective in the Indian market. Most people believe that it costs something more. The ones which cost something more has got a better quality. In case of generic drug, the same doesn't hold good. We would also present about India's pharma industry, an overview of the entire industry, the healthcare sector in India and its facts. Also, we would talk about generic FAQs. The fourth subject, which is the fourth chapter, which we will talk about, the India generic market. What is the current scenario in Indian generic market? The fifth one would be the indicative flowchart of generic distribution in India. The fifth one would be with regards to factors favoring sale of generics in India, wide sales. The companies from the organized sector, as I mentioned to you, promoting the pharma segment, it is Cipla, Alkem, Lupin, Sun Pharma, Intas, Wockhardt, Abbott, Cadila Pharma, German Remedies, Alembic, Elder, Glenmark, Microlabs, Mankind, Astrolab, JB Chemical, Dr. Reddy Lab, Biochem, German Remedies, Zydus Cadila, McLeod's, Torrent, to name a few. The companies from the unorganized sector, non-promoted in the pharma segment in the ethical industry, are companies like Leaford, Liberate, Torque, Inswift, Morpin Labs, Gulfa, Omega, Zen, MND, Dedali, Sigma Laboratories, Sun Life Sciences, Allen Burries, name copy, Knoll Laboratories, again the name copy, Psychotropics India Limited, Smart Labs, Prevego Healthcare, and Innova Biotech. The top pharma, we will also inform you about the top pharma companies and their turnover in the generic market. The major factors for the success of branded generic business. Major factors for success of the branded generic is a huge subject. Why generic has been so successful in the Indian market. Then we would also inform you about the business modules for generics, which is 3 major business modules. One, which is a marketing agent. The second, All India consignee agent. And the third one, which is an All India distributor. Then we would elaborate on the same. What is the role of a marketing agent? What is the role of the distributor, and what is the role of the CNF? Then the opportunity in the industry. Then what are the challenges which we are going to face in the industry? Then the monitoring of important issues like indent process, feedback on formula change products with FDA bans and the combination, tracking inventory, short expenses, slow moving, non-moving, and so on. So this is what we are going to talk about the generic industry. Also, with regards to generic industry, It has been a level that where with the generic industry, the marketing functions has been, it is the most probably unorganized sector, and that is what we mentioned during our course of our initial description, that the generic industry is going to be something which lacks, the people lack there the selling skills, and that is one of the things of why we have brought in here to show that how we can do selling skills with the generic industry. There are millions of products. With last but not the least, with generic industry, there are three different types of companies which operate in the generic industry. One is the high MRP, which is the branded generics like Alkem, Cipla, and so on. The second one is Dava India, which is medium priced, and the last one, which is Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi and Sarva Aushadhi, which recently began, which talks about low MRP medicines. The same medicines with quality, they claim that it is very effective, and yes, that is why Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi has been able to set up at least over 10,000 shops all across India. So with this, I would like to say that this is our vision, this is what we would like to do, and we would like you to look at this video and tell us that how further we can develop it. We would also request you to subscribe to this video and make this venture of ours a grand success. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful year ahead. Thank you.